Studios in beautiful Bothell, Washington, exclusively at WrestlingObserver.com. You're listening to the Bryan and Vinny Show with your hosts, Bryan Alvarez and Big Vinny V.
Bryan and Vinny, along with Grady and Craig and sometimes other people. Wrestling, tell me who and what's happening. Hanging between the business and storylines. Sometimes they're riffing as we're watching along. Did you see him killing that bloke on the outside? Tell them that they're paid by a con, and they'll say, Bryan and Vinny, along with Grady and Craig and sometimes other people. Bryan and Vinny, along with Grady and Craig and sometimes other people. It's Bryan Alvarez and Big Vinny V, and we hope that you enjoy the show.
All right, everybody, it's the Bryan Vinny Show here. It is March 30, 2025, figure4online.com/wrestlingobserver.com. We got a lot to talk about today. It is Sunday, and so as usual, it is SmackDown and Collision today. Although I say as usual, and that'll be different next weekend, because next weekend is this Dynasty pay-per-view.
Yes.
So I believe we'll be up Saturday night after that show is over. That's the plan. Got it?
Is it Saturday or Sunday? It's April 6th. It's Sunday.
It's Sunday?
Yeah.
Screws up my whole weekend.
Yep.
All right, well, anyway, we'll figure it out. Yeah. All right, so that's the plan. But anyway, we got that show to talk about here tonight. Hello to everybody watching on YouTube, live and free. It's a free show here tonight. If you are watching along free, make sure you hit like and subscribe so you know when other free shows might be up for you. But if you enjoy it, sign up. WrestlingObserver.com for the full site. F4WOnline.com/new. That's the new subscriber special. F4WOnline.com/new. Or if you just want only the podcast, 84 podcasts a month, $9.99. You can do that on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or YouTube. F4WOnline.com/Apple, F4WOnline.com/Spotify, F4WOnline.com/YouTube. All of those, $9.99 a month. You get all of the, I almost call them pay-per-views. They're basically like pay-per-views.
Premium live events.
They're premium live podcasts. They're PLPs.
In the parlance of our times.
All 84 of them for just $9.99 a month. So sign up, everybody. Especially with WrestleMania right around the corner. We'll plug that one later on. But anyway, let's get going on Collision and SmackDown. SmackDown first. It's a much bigger show.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's not the way we usually do it, Brian.
It's changed.
I didn't say anything.
The bigger show goes first.
I didn't say anything.
The bigger show goes first every time.
I adjusted as quickly as I could. So we watched WWE SmackDown March 28th, 2025. And let me begin by saying I am so over this show. The formatting and the pacing are disastrous. It is the opposite of an easy-to-watch program. The format is entrance, commercial break, backstage promo, entrance, 1 minute of wrestling, commercial break, 4 minutes of wrestling, finish, commercial break. It is not one 3-hour show. It is 3 dozen different 4-minute segments separated by 3-minute commercial breaks. Like, my thumb is sore from hitting the fast-forward button so often.
Yeah, this format sucks, and the 3-hour sucks. Like, there was stuff on the show that was good, but, like, it wasn't any of the wrestling because you didn't see any of it.
No.
They were just a whole bunch of I mean, like, every single match, it was like a couple minutes commercial, and it's not like it's a short commercial either.
No.
Like, it's one thing on AEW, I don't know if it's because they have fewer sponsors. Actually, it is because they have fewer sponsors. Their commercial breaks are like, 3 minutes. And in WWE, they're 4 minutes, sometimes 3 minutes, 30 seconds, sometimes like 5 minutes. I mean, they got long commercial breaks. And so you miss large portions of the match, and then you come back for like a couple of spots and it's over.
Yep.
And then It's like we get, a few minutes of wrestling interrupted by commercials, but then the non-wrestling is not interrupted by commercials. It's just like segment. I'm like, oh my God. It feels just insufferably long. So I hate 3-hour SmackDowns. June could not come soon enough. We're actually only a couple of months away. Goes back down to 2 hours. Thank God. Hopefully it will be better.
Take this in the spirit which it's intended, but I actually started this show only about 15 minutes after it started, so I didn't do a lot of fast forwarding, and I found the atmosphere and the crowd to enhance the show.
This crowd was awesome.
I don't know. I found it more tolerable by actually watching the whole show instead of fast forwarding through all the stuff.
Well, we didn't fast forward through everything, but we fast forwarded through commercial breaks.
Yeah.
I'm not going to watch a commercial break. I can't hear the crowd.
A lot of times you guys fast forward through the entrances.
I don't fast forward through the entrances on a show like this. Are you kidding me? But even that,
I did a lot.
They have been overseas, and they had a really good crowd when the show started, and they were not as good for this entire show. They did not sustain for 3 hours.
Well, much like last week, they died about hour 2.
Yep. So we're in London, in the United Kingdom, O2 Arena. Seth Rollins is there. He has security dudes. And they're doing a contract signing the main event, and each guy has his own personal security detail. Charlotte Flair is here in a ridiculous suit looking like a transformer. Meechin is here with B-Fab. Ellie Knight is here. Braun Strowman is here. Cody Rhodes is here in a tracksuit rather than his usual three-piece suit. Looking kind of sad, actually, but then he comes out for a promo.
Frail.
I beg your pardon, Craig?
You know what I mean?
Oh, boy. If Craig's got the robot gimmick going on here.
Yeah.
I'm not saying that. I'm saying he looked...
No, you've got the robot gimmick because your internet sucks.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes, my internet. Not that your power went out.
No, this is actually your internet. We're all listening to it right now. You are digitized. And you're the only one here digitized.
You're auto-tuned, Craig. I know you're a big fan of that.
Yes.
Do you want me to fix that? Do you want me to reboot?
Keep it here for now.
Why not?
Yeah. He looked frail, you say.
He looked tired, I should say. Looked very tired.
I'll take that.
Yeah, we have to connect.
So he comes out. They love his catchphrase. They sing his name. He's wrestling Cena at Mania. He's facing Cena back in this arena in a few nights. Randy Orton comes out. They sing his song. They sing Cody's name. He's trying to cut his promo. They just keep singing. They should have stopped because honestly, nothing important happened in this promo. They just were out there. He puts Cody over. You're tough. You wrestled with a torn pec. You beat Roman Reigns. There's always another story. Business is booming around the world mostly because of you. I'm going to remove Kevin Owens' head from his shoulders. You're going to beat John Cena up and down the Vegas Strip, but then I'm coming from a number 15 world title.
Boy, did you gloss over that. I thought this promo by Randy Orton was awesome. I thought the last several promos he's cut have been great. He talked about how Cody busted his ass. He wasn't happy here, so he left. He was man enough to leave. He changed the business single-handedly. He came back, turned the entire industry around. Cody is in tears hearing this, and it's all true, by the way. And he talks about Hell in a Cell, and then he beat Roman Reigns, and finally he gets to the point where, John's going after number 17, but there will be a time when I'm going to want to go after number 15. And he says, I'm not going to kick you in the balls like a coward. I'm going to look you right in your eye and tell you I'm coming for your belt. And Cody looks at him like, well, I respect that, but also, God damn it, another guy coming after me for my belt.
Heavy lies the head. So out comes Drew McIntyre. Says two Nepo babies having a love fest. Randy Orton, you haven't done anything to deserve a title shot since coming back. Nobody listened to me about John Cena. I was right. He kicked you right in the twig and berries and proved me right.
Cockney, coincidentally.
Mm-hmm. I'm not facing either of you at WrestleMania because of that guy liner wearing Timu Undertaker Damian Priest. So he'll be next. But Randy, I know your back is hanging by a thread. If you provoke me, I'll break it. And he approaches Cody, but Cody sucker punches him. Randy goes for the RKO, and I don't know exactly how they pulled this off. If there's some secret leverage trick, but it appeared Randy was floating in midair for several seconds before Drew pushed him away and fled for his life.
I thought this was a very good opening segment. I thought they set stuff up for down the road, because obviously they're going to do Cody and Randy Orton at some point. Although I don't think it's going to be for quite a while, because I expect Cena to beat Cody.
Yeah.
And then Cody has to eventually win it back to do the feud with Randy. But I did like that they planted a seed for a big future match here. By the time they get to it, everyone's going to really want to see it. But with that said, I was flabbergasted when they did the Drew McIntyre-Randy Orton match and finish. But we shall get to that.
Have they announced specifically when Cena's last match is?
Yeah, it's he's going
Series?
through this year.
Just this year?
It's all the way through the year, yeah.
Okay, so the challenge is going to be, because...
You must beat him before the year is out.
Yes, it's like a race. Yeah.
They have a show on the 31st.
That would be
Maybe
awesome.
they'll do day one.
They could, yeah.
That's after the.
They could
first
still
of the
do
year.
day one.
He's a heel. He could lie.
Yeah, you can do
Add
one
a
more.
day. Yeah.
Yeah.
Sure.
Money talks. Street Profits versus Pretty Deadly. This is great for the 4 minutes of wrestling we got to see.
Yeah.
We did 1 minute of wrestling, 3 minutes of commercials, and 3 minutes of wrestling after the break.
Actually, there was a spot that was really weird. So they went to commercial, and they came back, and Elton and Montez are in the ring together. And you can only see, because when they come back to commercial, they do the long shot, so you can just see these two tiny little ants in the ring. And so they start this spot, and it looked like Montez got lost. Like, are we doing a reversal? What the fuck are we doing here? And so he ends up hitting the ropes, and then he throws a cross-body onto Elton. But even though he does a cross-body, he lands on top in a cross-body, but he sells it like he concussed himself. He doesn't even make a cover. He just lands on the guy, and he kind of goes, ugh. And, like, the ref counts anyway, and Elton kicks out, and then, like, he just sits there for a while. And I thought, did this guy get hurt? And so he crawls to the corner, and he tags out. And then, like, moments later, he's back on his feet doing spots, so I guess he was okay, but I don't know what the hell happened there. But if you go back and watch it, they looked completely lost, and he looked out to lunch in this spot.
This catapult move that the Pretty Deadly do. What a silly move.
Or one guy launches the other into a code breaker.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's fine.
You buy this, huh?
Sure.
Okay.
It's not the silliest thing I've ever seen. They have many cool double team spots. They're an excellent tag team where one guy is whipped in the corners, his buddy lays across the ropes to take the impact, or Elton is about to get frog splashed, so Montez is in midair. Kit pushes him out of the way and takes the bullet. And a couple of double team combos, but it was all to no avail. The Profits of the finish. I think this finish is called the Street Sweeper, as I recall. The Doomsday Device blockbuster. They win. I thought this was great for the 4 minutes we actually got to see.
Fans were not happy with the hometown boys done getting beat. They did not like that.
Their Union Jack gear was
Thank you for bringing that up.
fantastic.
Yes.
Craig, reconnect.
Yes.
This is out of control.
Okay.
But I am glad he brought that up. Because Pretty Deadly always has the unique gear. You always know Pretty Deadly's on TV, and getting the Union Jack colors and scheme for their big hometown match was great for the 4 minutes of TV time they had. Earlier tonight, the Secret Hervis harasses Caden and Katana, and apparently Zelina too. Zelina doesn't like the jokes they have about her being small, and there was a challenge for a match here that I thought was a trios match, but as the show goes
That's
on...
what I thought, too.
As the show goes on, we find out it was a tag team match.
I could have sworn they were setting up a trios match, and then the match is not a trios match.
We have Bret Hart versus Steve Austin being announced for the Hall of Fame.
They've got a new Hall of Fame gimmick, which is Immortal Moment,
Yeah.
which is basically UFC. When they do their Hall of Fame, they induct fights.
Sure.
So you can go in for having a legendary fight.
I think this is a great idea for both
Yeah.
sincere and cynical reasons.
Well, I mean, the reality is this. They do have a lot of all-time classic WWE matches. And they have a finite number of people left to go into this Hall of Fame.
Yes.
So by having the Immortal Moment, it's always going to be a match involving two giant names. And this one's Bret Hart and Steve Austin. And now, Bret Hart and Steve Austin are going to be doing speeches at the Hall of Fame.
Exactly.
So basically, every year, we've only got Alicia Fox is going to the Hall of Fame this year. That's okay. We'll have this famous match involving these two, and then Undertaker will be there, and Shawn Michaels will be there giving speeches. So it's actually quite the clever deal.
Yeah.
And it's good to acknowledge great matches, like Steve Austin and Bret Hart from WrestleMania 13.
Let's see. Paul Heyman and Roman Reigns are here. They also have security. Kaden Carter and Katana Chance versus the Secret Hervis. This got even less time than the men's tag match. Not that I actually need to see more of this.
No, this one was not particularly good.
No. Then we're told it's the first TV match for Carter and Chance since mid-December in NXT. So they've been absent forever, and they came back for this. Piper bonks them together, wins with a Piper driver. The less said about this, the better.
We had a 3-on-2 beatdown. Zelina ran down.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. They're beating them up 3-on-2. Out comes Stone Cold Zelina Vega.
Yes.
And eventually they overwhelmed her and squished her. I think the crowd liked Chelsea. They didn't really care about anyone else, including the two British women.
Yeah, so the problem here is that Chelsea is now basically Toni Storm last year. She's a heel, but the fans love her. They cheer for her. All the baby faces she feuds with are not cheered. They're being killed. I mean, I don't know, man. Whatever. Who cares? But it was the same thing I said with Toni Storm. Mm-hmm. She needs to be babyface. You're killing all the other baby faces, but they just keep doing it.
We have now reached the 1 hour point of the show. Less than 10 minutes of actual in-ring wrestling on TV. Louis Capaldi and Oben Elliott are shown in the crowd. I wrote down their names and not what they did. I think it's a singer and a UFC guy, right?
Who?
Doesn't matter. Braun Strowman versus Elliot Knight. They go 1 minute. They go to commercial. I wrote, what the fuck is even the point of the show? They come back. They go 3 minutes. It's a DQ. I wrote in all caps, what the fuck is even the point of the show?
It was
all I'm doing is fast forwarding.
Very, very shitty finish. We saw nothing of the match. Fatu got a big pop. That was at least nice. And then we got this other thing that's been driving me nuts. They brawl outside and Fatu gives Strowman a Samoan drop on the table. They keep pushing. We have a newly reinforced table, which means the table is really hard and it doesn't break. Okay. Why would you do this? Why would you create a specially reinforced announce table? Because A, if you're a wrestler, landing on a table that doesn't break fucking sucks. It hurts. And second off, the fans don't give a shit about a table that doesn't break. They want to see a table explode. All they do is chant, "We want tables." Yes, what they're actually saying is, we want broken tables. They don't just want a table. They want the table to break. And so what we've done here is we've taken away something the fans love, which is breaking tables, and we've thrown in something that fans hate because it's boring, and the wrestlers hate because it hurts. If somebody can explain to me, and they're doing this in AEW too. Both companies now have got reinforced tables that don't break. Why the fuck are we doing this? Can anybody explain this to me?
I have a theory.
What is that? Table shortage?
No. You all seen the spot where somebody climbs up onto the table and the table just breaks because you're standing on it. So they got to find a happy medium where it breaks with more pressure than less, because we've all seen the table break when nothing gets thrown through them. It just, they're standing on the table breaks.
Yeah, I'd prefer that.
Okay.
Craig, do me a favor.
Yeah.
Go to speedtest.net and text me the answer.
Yeah.
We heard about...
maybe a third of that.
Yeah, your commentary is sounding like the matches on this show right now. We're getting about 20% of it. Mm-hmm. I'm checking mine right now. See what it says. Speedtest.net. All right, go ahead.
You see Jimmy Uso smacking Gunther on Raw. Jackie Redmond is the newest interviewer they have. She's interviewing Jimmy Uso. Vows to go through...
Jackie Redmond's been there forever.
I've been watching the show.
Years.
I've been watching the show for a little while here. I'll go through Gunther's ass on Raw. My brother will go through his ass at Mania. He runs into Miz and Mello. They bury him, say Gunther's the main character, so Jimmy challenges Miz for tonight. At this point, we're almost halfway through. There's 100 minutes of TV time left. They're still booking matches.
Yeah.
We recap the whole Jacob Fatu, Braun Strowman, LA Knight thing, and then Solo asked Jacob what the hell that was. Jacob's still pissed at Solo for costing the match last week. He wants nothing to do with them. When it comes to Braun, I will be the last man standing, and I will bring the U.S. title to the family with or without you.
So they are doing this Fatu Braun Strowman last man standing match next week.
Mm-hmm.
So that's not a Mania match. So it looks like it probably will be, I guess, Fatu and LA Knight, I would think, at WrestleMania, right? Fatu and LA Knight?
Unless they do a last man standing screw job and it's a three-way.
I don't need another multi-person match.
I certainly
on
don't, but it's what they do.
I'm sick of it.
Yes. Okay, this was awesome. Naomi promo video package.
This is the best Naomi there's ever been.
Yes.
Ever.
Yes.
She was incredible in this segment.
Yes. She has always done the right thing, she says. The attack on Jade Cargill was no different. And she's talking about how unfair this has been. She works up real tears right here on camera. She doesn't understand how Jade walks in and takes her place, not just in the company or with the fans, but with Bianca. I'm the one who inspired you. I inspired all these women over the past decade. I had your back since day one. Me, not Jade. I'm done being underappreciated. Jade, if you continue to be in my way, I strongly advise you to proceed with caution. And her gear is caution tape all over it. This ruled.
It was absolutely great.
So Jade immediately meets with Nick Aldis, demands to know where Naomi is. As far as Nick knows, Naomi's not here. Meechin and B-Fab give Jade a pep talk. Naomi's got it coming. Do what you got to do, they say. So then, after a break, Meechin and B-Fab are out for a match with Charlotte, but Naomi jumps them both from behind, which kind of makes them look like geeks because she beat up two of them. She didn't even have a weapon or anything. Jade runs down. Naomi flees. Jade helps Meechin to the back. Now Charlotte is coming out, and she does a stare down with Jade in the middle of the entrance ramp to build for something down the line. The bell rings. Charlotte Flair versus Meechin. They wrestle for, no joke, 20 seconds and go to commercial. All I'm doing is fast forwarding. You do some stuff. This is pretty good, actually, for the 3 or 4 minutes we got. Very high suplexes by both of them. Meechin keeps going for eat defeat, gets him like the third try, but Charlotte gets the ropes. And I did not write down the finish, but I'm sure Charlotte won.
You didn't write down the finish?
I did not write down the finish.
God. Meechin.
I did write very good for the 3 or 4 minutes we got.
Eat defeat. Charlotte got the foot on the ropes.
Yes, I got that part.
Meechin missed a kick. And then Flair put her in a figure 8.
There you go.
Her submission move.
Her finish.
Right in the middle of the ring.
Yes.
For a submission.
Okay.
Where were you?
I don't know. I was so...
Jesus. And I don't even think you were watching the match at all.
I was so impressed by this finish.
This was not a great match. It was, at best, fine. I mean, that's all I could give it. The crowd didn't care about this match at all. They were dead. And then Meechin made a comeback, and they were still dead. And all I could think when this was over was, I can't even fathom Charlotte versus B-Fab. Because I think that's next, based on what they did earlier. And Charlotte, you know what's funny? I was thinking about this because I watched that Charlotte interview with Tiffy. And I watched that Charlotte match. Who was that match? She had a match with somebody.
She just wrestled B-Fab.
Yeah.
Well, that's right. Yeah, it sucked. That's right. That was the match. It fucking sucked. So if they do it again, I'm going to be really furious. Because the thing with the Flair family, Ric Flair, like, all he wanted to do was make you look great. It didn't matter who you were. He was going to go in there and make you look like you were better than him. That was like his entire career, was going in there with anybody, any nerd, and make them look better than him. Charlotte in the ring is all about, I need you to know that I am better than this other person. So if they make even the smallest mistake, she's just going to let them fucking drown. And she does it verbally, and she does it physically, And goddamn, another B-Fab match. I can't take it. And even Tiffany's promo was all about acknowledging how she got eaten alive by Charlotte last week. And the funny thing is, I'm watching this promo. It came up next after the match. And Tiffany says, yeah, last week's promo had a lot of people talking. 10 years in the business, and Charlotte wouldn't let a rookie get a word in edgewise. I was like, okay, hold on a second. Yes, that is actually what happened, like, in real life. If we're talking about, like, this is all fake, what should Charlotte do as a professional? Yes, she did something wrong. She ran her over and made her look stupid, okay? However, if we're looking at this like it's real, Charlotte is under no obligation to let you get a word in edgewise. So Tiffany bringing this up in a promo, in character, about how her opponent in character wouldn't let her talk, I was like, what the fuck are you talking about? Why is this part of a promo now? And then she goes, well, you know, if you beat me, well, you beat a 25-year-old rookie.
Yeah, she buries herself. A backflip doing little girl.
No, if I beat you, you lost to a little backflipping rookie.
Yeah.
But she said that because I guess that's what Charlotte called her. But anyway, they gave her way too much to memorize. They tried to do an insider promo in an in-character interview. And, like, it was true, but it makes no sense that a person would say. It's just, I hated this segment.
She came off very much like an actress playing pro wrestler.
Yeah, and whining. That was the problem. Like, she has a legitimate gripe, whatever her real name is, whatever Tiffany's real name is, she has a legitimate gripe, okay? The character Tiffany Stratton has no legitimate gripe. None whatsoever. Right?
Yes.
Anyway.
If this were real, yes.
Yeah. Okay. This next portion of the show was a perfect summary of what watching SmackDown is like. Randy Orton begins his entrance. Keep in mind, he already did his entrance on the show. We've already seen it. He comes out, the crowd's singing along, goes on for a long time, we go to commercial. We come back for a video package. I am not making this up. A video package devoted to the WrestleMania entrances of Hunter Hearst Helmsley.
One time, Hall of Fame, brother.
One time he was a Terminator. One time he had broke a glass with a hammer.
Maybe
One time
they'll
he
put
had a
entrances in the Hall of Fame.
Oh, fuck, they might. They did play Motorhead. They did not play the Metallica, which is, for the record, my favorite Triple H WrestleMania entrance.
Copyright.
I'm sure. You don't think Metallica gives the music away for cheap? That doesn't sound right.
Yeah.
So the match finally begins. They go 1 minute. They do a 3-minute commercial break. They come back for 3.5 minutes of wrestling. There's a distraction. Drew hits his Claymore and win. This whole thing, from the point where Randy Orton came out to the point where the bell rang, 20 minutes of real life time. We saw 4.5 minutes of actual in-ring wrestling. Who would watch this bullshit?
And it's not even like it wasn't even like a very good match. It was just there. And the distraction was literally Kevin Owens was in the aisle.
Yes, this giant arena, 50 yards away.
Randy stands there and looks at him 80 yards away, turns around, gets Claymored. One Claymore, he's pinned in the middle of the ring, like just a rando on the show. And I was like, dude, this show opened with you going on for 20 minutes about how you were going to look Cody in the eye after he beat John Cena, and you were going to challenge him to try to win your 15th title or whatever. And you did a job via like in 4 minutes of action. I was dying at this point. Dying.
Speaking of music and whatnot, just a side note, Living Color is going to be playing in Las Vegas April 18th, free in Fremont.
Friday?
So that's, it's the Friday before. So they are going to be in Las Vegas the same weekend as WrestleMania.
I wonder if I can make it to that. That would be quite awesome.
Yeah, it's a free show.
Yeah. Probably pretty crowded. So Kevin Owens is beating up Randy Orton afterwards. And I got to say this. Owens is never going to have a body like Randy Orton or Drew McIntyre, but by his standards, he's getting very lean here for WrestleMania season. But Orton drops him across the desk, goes for the punt, and Owens flees. And that's that. Jimmy Uso versus Miz. They could not go to commercial fast enough. I had to watch some of this. Jimmy appears to be working in pajamas these days. That's new.
There was an incredible spot during this match, believe it or not.
Was.
Actually, yes, but not for the reasons Brian's thinking, I don't think.
No, Jay made his comeback, and his necklace fell off. Okay? And they've got a whole elaborate spot planned involving rope running, and I think there might have been a leapfrog or something in there. Jimmy Uso, without missing a beat, retrieves and disposes of his fallen metal necklace in the middle of the ring, and he doesn't miss a beat in this high spot. I was like, holy shit, dude. That was very, very impressive. I went back and watched it multiple times. Fucking metal bracelet or necklace laying in the middle of the ring. And he's like, leapfrog, grab, duck, throw. I was like, holy shit, that was fucking great. That was better than anything else on this show, was him manipulating his fallen necklace in the middle of a high spot.
So these commentators are trying to tell me how great Miz is, how underrated he is, how hard he works, and he proceeds to do the worst Rainmaker ever, followed shortly by the worst Bryan Danielson knee strike ever. Miz, the biggest AEW mark on the roster. He tries a springboard, it jumps right into a super kick, and Jimmy hits a splash and wins.
Hey, did I ever tell you about how when Miz was feuding with Bryan Danielson, and he was doing those shitty kicks and such, and I had to listen to these people telling me how great the Miz was, and that he was purposely doing the kicks poorly to mock his opponent, Bryan Danielson. It's been like 8 years. Danielson has been gone since 2018 or something, and he's still doing the shitty kicks because he's not mocking someone. He just sucks.
You know how Chris Jericho over the years has reinvented himself time and time and time again? Hey,
Yes.
Miz, take some notes.
That would also be nice, yes. He's been doing the same thing since 05,
I think you're being generous.
whenever the Miz debuted. Let's see. So Uso calls out Gunther for Monday night, promises you will salute Big Jim, he says. McIntyre is backstage partying with Louis Capaldi, vows to hit the pub with him, invites an interview with Jackie. Come here, he says. I'd love to talk to you. Tonight's show that when no one gets involved in my business, I win. I called out Damian Priest for tonight. He doesn't have the balls to show up. And he leaves to party, but he opens the door. Priest is standing there and jumps him, and they're having a brawl. And some random dude says, "That's my car." So Damian Priest puts him through a table. And they're fighting in the hood. And Damian grabs him, does a big choke slam through the windshield. And I hope in the melee here, someone shouted that real glass. I sincerely hope that. Yes, and he did it online for sure. Also knowing some of it got in his eye, and apparently he's wearing an eye patch now.
He is.
Yes.
I like that they were going to do a spot where the driver's or the passenger side door was opened, and I guess Drew was going to throw Priest into it, but the door accidentally shut.
Oh.
So unlike two rookie nerds, they didn't reopen the door to do the spot right. He just tossed him into the car and kept going. Liked it.
And also Damian told Drew, "Rest in peace, jackass." So leaning into the whatever you want to call this next generation Undertaker thing he's got going on. After the break, CM Punk arrives. He's walking through with security. He stops and looks to his left. There's his old enemy, Drew McIntyre, lying in a pile of his other old enemy, Real Glass, and he smirks and move on. Okay, I LOL'd. I laughed at that. That's funny. We have Cena's promo from Raw. He vows to ruin wrestling by winning the 17th championship, and they're retiring with it. I will be the last real champion in WWE. Nothing you can do can stop me.
Christ. How many times this thing's been held up and
There's been a lot of...
Christ, there's a WWE vacant Twitter.
Yes.
What does that tell you?
In abeyance.
Yeah.
Yes.
Who the hell is the lineal champion right now?
Jeez.
I don't know.
I actually had it. Anyway.
So it's time for the contract signing.
I think it was Drew.
That sounds right, actually.
Yeah.
But it didn't... Well, he's got... I guess he would have lost in like a chamber match, which I don't know if that counts. Roman comes out. There's a very eager reaction. He milks it for a while, forces Paul Heyman to sing with the fans. That made me laugh. Out comes Seth. There's even more singing. And Seth cuts this promo. All the two of them have done together. Roman cuts him off, says, there is no we. We died a long time ago. I'm the one who got us here. Seth talks about cleaning up Roman's messes. Out comes Punk. Now here's a song worth singing. If you want to sing along to Living Color during Cult of Personality, you have my permission. So Punk takes the contract and is reading through it page by page. Like, reading it, apparently. And Roman buries him for taking a long time. They were very short on TV time at this point, and it's not even a live show, I don't think. He says, you're taking a long time, you need a highlighter, it's in there. Paul Heyman goes to address CM Punk. Promises, it's in there, it's what you've always wanted. You are closing the show at WrestleMania. You are a WrestleMania main eventer. Punk is trying to work up Naomi tears as Seth is screaming he doesn't deserve it. Roman says you should thank me and acknowledge me. I'm the one who's made you a main eventer. Punk thanks London, Chicago, Louisville, all the fans, and he drops to a knee in front of Roman. He acknowledges his tribal chief, and he signs the contract and says, but that's not the favor I am owed. And it's to the break, and the show ends.
They went over. That's bad. But I thought that this was miles and miles and miles and miles better than last week. Because now they are doing what I thought they had to do, which is we need more than just these three guys are having a match. Something. There's obviously not going to be a title on the line, but there could be a title shot on the line, or, more importantly, what's going on with Paul Heyman and CM Punk and Roman Reigns. Mm-hmm. And they are now going down that road, and that's what this feud needs for intrigue. Because otherwise it's three dudes. They don't have a WrestleMania slot wrestling each other. Now it feels like something. And I howled at Roman laughing. One man's dream is another man's favorite check, he says, and he pumps his fist. And the fans all laughed. And that's when Seth says, that's my child out there wailing.
Crying like CM Punk was.
Yes. Yeah. Anyway, Seth said there's nothing to laugh about. Wipe those tears out of your eyes. And then they go on. And yeah, it took a long time to get to the line. Thank you, but that's not the favor I'm owed. But they got to it 2 minutes late. So I saw the whole show. I don't know if anyone else got it cut off, but miles and miles better than last week. It felt like a bigger match, and it was good enough that it made me not upset that I'm certainly not that upset. Not upset that I watched the entire episode of... let me deal with
Why don't you go be dad for a while? We want a collision.
SmackDown, Paul Heyman was absolutely tremendous in this segment. And also, Seth Rollins was not dressed like an idiot, and I can actually take him serious.
That helped. That helped. And the wacky outfits don't bother me as much as it bothers you two. But he had just like a reserved suit and a man bun.
Yeah, he had kind of a loud-ish blazer, but
like a paisley pattern on it or something.
Yeah. It was fine.
That certainly helped. So we also watched AEW Collision March 29th, 2025. I thought this was an absolute A+ all-time great opening segment. And then after that, a very average wrestling TV show.
Fair.
Toni Storm comes out for a promo. She's wearing a Rosie the River costume. Mm-hmm. And they show Megan pinning Toni on Dynamite in the main event tag match. She calls out Megan Bain, get your oiled up, feathered ass out here right now, she says. But Megan does not show. So Toni says, that's fine. If you're too busy crushing watermelons and eating babies, you will still listen to what I have to say. They put the spotlight on Toni, and she begins to perform, and she has a monologue. And she's talking about the agony of defeat. You were the better women. Yes, Dad?
Children! Go ahead.
You were the better woman. You left me flat on my back like you just bought me a steak dinner. I'm embarrassed. I'm hurt. I'm ashamed. You made it look so easy, and I'm devastated. I lay there in the hotel, turned out the lights. I replayed the whole thing, wondering if it was what happened to me at Dynasty. Then I got up, took a piss, stubbed my toe, whacked my head in the sink, remembered exactly who I am. I am timeless Toni Storm. And as she's saying this, she actually went to her back to recall how the match ended and how she spent that night in her hotel room. But as she begins to speak defiantly about she's timeless Tony Storm, goddammit, she is slowly rising to her feet. And they were shooting this not with a regular hard cam or regular handheld. They used the crane cam, so it's a different angle. It looks visually impressive. And as she approaches the ropes to really finish things off, they move in for a close-up on her. And she is ranting, I am timeless Tony Storm. At Dynasty, I will be leaving with your tits in my... Boom! At that point, Penelope Ford, out of nowhere, boots her in the face. Tony goes flying. Penelope has the close-up on her, is smiling. And that whole thing was great. That was just absolutely perfect timing. Tony makes her come back and lays Penelope out, but then she turns around. There's Megan Bain to lay her out, hits the F5. Megan shouts, bow down to her, which is the most personality she has ever shown. And that's where it ended. This was phenomenal. The presentation, the camera angle, the dialogue, the performance, the timing. They could have done this 5,000 more times. It would never have been any better than we saw here.
Yeah, it wasn't just the performers; it was the production involved with it. The way they zoomed out on the camera and then back in right before the boot to the face. It was really, really great.
I thought it was a pretty damn good segment. Not that good, but it was pretty good. I mean, crying out loud. It wasn't like it was Roman Reigns and... Anyway.
The Death Riders do a promo.
Still angry.
Claudio vows to do something for himself. He has challenged Copeland one-on-one. Notes, you are losing your edge and just trying to cope with it. But he will leave enough for Copeland to compete in the Trios match at Dynasty.
We had you think that Tony Storm segment was great? Wasn't as good as this Moxley promo.
Moxley's awfully great here.
He said, there's 3 people in this world I fear. My mother, my sister, and my wife. Mm-hmm. Until I met Marina. I don't want to be there, he says, the day she snaps. Swerve, you talked a big game on Thursday. Now you need to back it up. So he starts to mention Willow. And all of a sudden, Marina, who, by the way, I don't know if you noticed or not, she's married to Roderick Strong. Mm-hmm. She goes, Willow! It's like, God damn it.
I hadn't picked up on that.
The whole fucking family.
Yes. Yeah.
And Moxley goes, and he backs away. And she cuts a promo on Willow about ripping her liver out and shoving her down her throat. And Moxley kind of looks around, and he looks at Claudio, and they get the fuck out of Dodge.
Yep.
Fans laughed. I laughed.
Yes. Moxley was very scared of Marina here.
Yeah, she's the one that's going to take this promotion back.
Yeah. Jay White versus Kevin Knight. Knight gets a full entrance with his own music, a jet graphic, the New Japan logo. No reaction, because no one knew who he was, but they tried. It highlights if he's in very assorted Japanese indie promotions. They're telling us he's teamed with Kushida, trained in part by Buddy Wayne. And they had a very fun wrestling match. In fact, this match was awesome when I think about it. There's a lot of fundamentals. Knight gets a couple of big moves. Jay cuts him off with a dragon screw. And they come back from break, and Jay sends him out of the ring with one mighty chop, and you rarely see one chop get the absolute... They got the absolute most out of this one chop, for sure. Yep. Like 3 minutes out of just one big mighty chop that sent him out of the ring. They trade more chops in the ring, and just a big mighty dropkick by Knight, and that's where I decided this match ruled, because it's... My favorite kind of wrestling is very basic stuff done to a spectacular level, and that's what this was. Knight makes his whole comeback, gets some near falls. Neither guy can hit his finish until Jay just does, and adds another Blade Runner for good measure. He gets the win. This was great, and I refuse to complain about this in any way.
I enjoyed this. I enjoyed this match here, and I enjoyed more the post match, where Kevin and I got a contract. I don't know if it was specifically out of this, but he did sign afterwards. But Jay cuts a promo and he goes, "Let's hear it for Kevin Knight," and they all cheer. And he says, just like myself, Kevin went through the New Japan dojo. And I got a feeling we're going to be seeing a lot more of him here in AEW. Crowd gives him a big ovation. There's a long pause. Jay goes, "That was your cue to leave." So Kevin politely gets out of the ring.
There was final handshaking. Yes.
Joe cuts his promo on the Owen Hart Cup.
Yes.
I howled.
I really like Kevin Knight. Seen him in Defy quite a bit, and I hope he doesn't get lost in the shuffle.
Oh, he will.
He's I know, but he's too good to get lost
The
in
Young
the shuffle.
Bucks are lost in the shuffle. Just telling you how it is.
So, yes, that whole thing happened with Knight at the end there, and then Jay puts himself in the Owen and talks about how great he is. It's still the Switchblade era. Here's MJF throwing out the first pitch of the Texas Rangers game. This, of course, will be the same stadium where All In is held later this year. He can't help but note Bobby Lashley lives in Texas. But the Rangers didn't call Lashley. They called him. See a pic on social media of Athena posting a pic of herself outside Mercedes' locker room, threatening to say hi here on this show. Mercedes Moné versus Robin Renegade. My two favorite things during this segment actually had nothing to do with the match
My
itself.
favorite was the fact that they announced Mercedes Moné in action. They didn't mention an opponent. And I believe on Observer Live I said, well, that probably means Robin Renegade. I had no inside information. But in fact, it was Robin Renegade.
It was.
And she beat her quickly.
So there were two announcements during the show. One in the crowd, not an announcement, just a sign. AEW needs Enochiism. I cackled with laughter at that.
Yeah, you know what it doesn't need?
Is that?
Is Enochiism.
Yes. But the announcement here that on April 16th, a special show called Spring Breakthrough to celebrate becoming the longest running wrestling show ever on TBS. The pettiness. I live for the pettiness. Mercedes is out there in very elaborate gear, looking at about 8 layers of clothing, any one of which would have left her practically nude, but altogether she was covered from the neck down. It's more of a fight than you'd expect, but it's AEW, so that's exactly what you'd expect. And Mercedes wins with all her moves. Taps her out with a bank statement.
Every one of them.
That was good, at least.
Sure.
So then Shivani is interviewing her. She says she needs even more gold. She is also entering the Owen Hart tournament, vowing to win the women's title at All In. Shivani notes that Billy Starks is in the Owen. Mercedes cuts him off. Robin Renegade has way more heart than Billy Starks. Repeats, whoever trained Billy sucks at pro wrestling. And this, of course, is Athena's cue. She makes a big
Stop.
debut.
What did you just say?
Whoever trained Billy sucks at pro wrestling, and that's Athena's cue.
Okay, you said this is, of course, Athena's cue.
I see.
Yeah.
Okay. You know how we've been watching those Mid-South shows, and just a few days ago we did this long deal about how, Tony Khan loves Mid-South, and he should take like a, page out of the Mid-South book. Like what they're doing with Dr. Death, Steve Williams, where like he's going to debut, and so, in the weeks prior, they're showing videos of his matches.
Right.
And they're showing like his spots and they're showing his moves and everything like that. You mentioned, of course, but bro, I would bet a good probably 80% of the people watching Dynamite and Collision have absolutely no fucking idea about Minions and about Athena and Billy Starks. And dude, Athena comes out with a spinner belt. I would bet virtually nobody watching the show had any idea what the spinner belt was, because she also had the ROH. They mentioned she's the ROH Women's Champion. She's got that belt on.
She's also the Forever Champion, whatever that is.
And it's like all of these things. It's like, yes, if you have been watching Ring of Honor, you get it, okay? Everybody else has no fucking idea what's going on. And the promo that Athena did later with Billy was like a total... Do a promo for the hardcore Ring of Honor fans who know everything that's going on and the stories and Billy and like the whole shebang. But to the vast majority of people watching, they have no idea what's going on. It hasn't been explained. And it's just like, what? I mean, you can kind of put two and two together. Okay, clearly Athena must have trained Billy. And then later we learn that, Billy is Athena's understudy. The spinner belt was never explained. Apparently she just made her own belt after she won the Ring of Honor title with her on it that spins. I guess it spins forever or whatever. She's a forever champ. None of this is explained. You're just like, you just watch it. And this is Mercedes. This is a match for Mercedes down the road. You know what I'm saying? They're not even doing it at the pay-per-view. It's probably Athena may win the Owen and face Mercedes in Texas at All In. So, like, this is a big match. But it's like they're just throwing it out there. Honor Club has what? 10,000 people subscribing? 10,000 people. 10,000 people are following this Ring of Honor product. And you've got hundreds of thousands of people, close to 1 million on Wednesdays, that are watching AEW, and none of them have any idea what's going on. So anyway, from that perspective, this sucked. But she got a pop coming out.
She got a good promo. I think the winner of this gets a shot at Tony Storm's title. I don't think it's like you can pick which champion, because that's why Mercedes is in it. So, regardless, they have a little brawl. Athena's very smiley and giddy about getting to do the O-face, but Mercedes pulls Robin in the way. And to sum up Brian's point, my takeaway from this was, I guess we're going to find out how many people really watch and pay attention to ROH if Athena makes a difference here.
All right, so apparently, yeah, so the women's title, so then Mercedes and Athena would be in the tournament. And
it could be the finals.
And Athena would beat her. It can be the finals, because Athena needs to beat her, but then lose to somebody else, so then we can do Athena and Mercedes for that title at All Out in Texas. Regardless, let's, follow up on this one.
We see Julia Hart pinning Queen Aminata last week, and then Queen Aminata, the loser of that match and that program, was supposed to be in the main event of this show. No mention of where Julia Hart went. But Lexi is interviewing Aminata. She's hurt. She has a wrist injury. She is out tonight. Billy Starks is taking her place. So Serena Deeb interrupts, reminds us all that when Aminata listens, she wins. When she doesn't, she loses and also gets hurt. Aminata says, I'm still not going to listen to your trash. And so Serena offers her the binder to study while she is on the shelf. Big Bill and Bryan Keith defeated Top Flight, as we all knew they would.
Yeah, because they won on Dynamite.
Yep.
Bro, this match made me so angry. I was as angry watching this as you were watching SmackDown. So, listen, I like Top Flight and everything like that, okay? And I know that this is how Tony Khan books. But Big Bill and Bryan Keith are getting a tag title match at the pay-per-view, okay? They weren't supposed to be in the title picture. They got put there because the two guys that were supposed to be in the title picture, one of them is hurt, Brian Cage. So they got thrust in there. They end up doing a promo segment, and MVP fucking makes them look like the biggest dorks. Absolutely makes them look like absolute, complete, and total geeks.
He pulled a Charlotte.
And he tells them, the only way you're getting a shot is you got to beat a real team. So, under absolutely, I don't like, if that promo wouldn't have happened, whatever, who cares? But dude, when they got buried and treated like job guys, under no circumstances should they have gone 50-50 with Top Flight. None whatsoever. They needed to go in and murder a team. Just one-sided, Lance Archer, Brian Cage style ass-kicking of some team. Instead, they go in there and it's like near fall. Near fall, near fall, near fall. I'm like, fuck, dude, beat these guys. And finally, they beat them in the end. And you can just see that Bill's furious because he just keeps screaming in the camera, keep running your mouth, keep talking now. He was as pissed as Tiffany Stratton was. So anyway, I don't know, man. Just, like, let a team beat another team. They need help. This fucking team needs help. Help them.
I saw it a little differently than you did, in that it wasn't 50-50. It was 80-20, but it did take them a long time and it was not a very impressive win. So the point stands. And they did a bit there where there was what felt like a hot tag, but Dante just immediately springboards into a giant lariat, and then Big Bill makes a comeback against both of them. If they had gone to the home at that point, it would have been awesome. But no, they did wrestle more, and then Top Flight got a real hot tag, and they got Bill out of the ring. They isolated Keith and got some near falls on him, and eventually the Luring Tree came back and got the win there. Bill pinned Dante with a chokeslam. But I don't know. I thought it could have been better, but I thought it was okay.
It could have been better, but if it was so predictable.
Yeah.
I mean, there was no doubt who was going to win this match.
Yeah. And then the crew shows up. They
don't have their outfits on anymore.
They have chains. They are going to attack Top Flight until AR Fox chases them away. This stupid bottom of the card feud between two teams that almost always lose is getting a longer build than Taz and Sabu. Just wrestle. I'm not going to get any more into it the more gimmicks you do. Just do a wrestling match. Lexi in her disco pajamas interviewed Jamie Hayter, who is in the main event tonight. Just another Saturday night for her. She's excited to face Billy Starks, likes the fire in Billy, but threatens to knock her on her ass. No hesitations, no second chances. And she also enters the Owen, which had me questioning, are there rules about who can enter the Owen? Can I enter it? Can Evil Uno show up and put himself in this Owen Hart tournament if he wants to? Because it appears to be anyone who says they're in it is just in. Daniel Garcia and Adam Cole have a face-to-face. Adam Cole comes out with Kyle O'Reilly and Roderick Strong. So Garcia comes out with one guy, Eddie Magic. Why was Cole Hand-Ange not there? Couldn't have had 2 3-on-3. Cole notes that Garcia is the future of AEW. I didn't get the job done in our title match, but neither did you. As a fighting champion, that must make you sick to your stomach. This needs to end with one man proving he's better than the other. Garcia admits this. Not beating you has been eating me alive. Daddy Magic takes over and says, by the way, Daddy Magic, the most over guy in this entire segment. You can't give Cole another shot. He's gotten plenty. It's his job to beat you, and he couldn't do it. But Garcia disagrees. He says, I don't have to do it. I want to. He challenges Cole again. Roddy speaks up. Everyone starts bickering. Garcia says he's sick of all the noise. The rematch will have everyone banned from ringside and no time limit. There will be a winner. And you're looking at it.
So I hope you like these guys wrestling because they got to go at least 30 minutes.
They don't have to.
Oh, they do. Because 20-minute time limit. So they got to the whole idea of no time limit. They have to go longer than 20. They have to put in time.
They could go 21.
No, they're going to put in some time.
I probably will. I've seen a lot of Adam Cole 30-minute matches.
I mean, dude, we don't have that many matches for the show at this point. I mean,
that's very true, actually.
They're definitely going to put in some time here.
Yeah.
Didn't they go 20 minutes?
I do not want to see 40.
Just last week?
Yep.
Yes, that was why we set this up. Draw.
Okay, well, 10 more minutes shouldn't be that bad.
So Athena does her backstage promo, calls Mercedes the passive-aggressive bitch. Keep my name and my minion's name out of your damn mouth. She enters the Owen Hart tournament. Says Billy had a brilliant idea putting all this together. So putting this whole thing back with Billy bumping into Mercedes like 2 months ago was all Billy's plan. And Billy vows to make her proud of the main event tonight. Athena says, I'm sure you'll find some way to fail me, but I'll be watching closely. Athena was very great and entertaining here, but between these two segments, I don't know if I'm supposed to cheer for her or not. Because
who the fuck knows? I have no idea. I think she's a babyface, but she's a dick to her babyface friend.
Yeah.
Would you cheer for me?
I was going to say.
No,
No, I do not.
Okay, well, there's your answer. Now let's talk about the best thing on this show. This Dax Wheeler Yuta match was fucking awesome. Absolutely fucking great. You know how many guys grew up watching old school Southern wrestling and they loved it and they wanted to wrestle like those guys, but they just couldn't? A lot of people. This fucking Dax is just like, he is technically so fucking great in the ring. And the chain wrestling that they did early and everything he does is just unbelievable. He is such a great fucking wrestler. And they're just having this back and forth match, and it's just great. And then Dax tries to hip toss this dude in the ring, and Wheeler rolls through. He transitions into the seatbelt, and he pins him clean. And Wheeler celebrates like he just got this huge win, and Dax can't fucking believe that he just got pinned with a wrestling move by this fucking dork with that haircut.
Oh, yeah.
And he is fucking pissed. And I'm already just like, I just want to watch this match 10 times in a row. The match is just so fucking great. And then he starts screaming at the ref afterwards, this Dax. He's screaming, it was a 2. Which, of course, he's turning at some point because it wasn't a fucking 2. It was clearly a 3. And the announcer was even talking about, what's this guy talking about? That was so clearly a 3. So he starts throttling this ref, and he threatens to beat his ass. So they send out all the security, and Dax starts beating up security. Cash runs down to pull security off Dax, and Dax turns around and he shoves his buddy on his ass. And they have a long stare down. And finally, Dax extends his hand to help his friend up. And Cash slaps his hand away and they go face to face. And Cash, fuck it, and he bails to the back. And Dax starts screaming that it was an accident. And I was just thinking, this angle is fucking awesome. Even though I think I know exactly where it's going. Like, we're supposed to think that these two guys are going to split. That Cash is going to go babyface and Dax is going to go heel. Or maybe you think it's a swerve and they're going to turn on each other. But it's the New Day. And they are going to turn on this fucking Adam Copeland bloke.
Yeah.
They're going to beat the shit out of him. And then we're going to get a bunch of awesome heel FTR matches with teams like the Bucks and Edge and Christian and a number of others as well. This was the best thing on the show by miles and miles. Loved it.
You mentioned Wheeler's haircut.
Outrunners.
Yeah.
Babyface Outrunners versus heel FTR.
Yeah.
God damn.
You mentioned Wheeler's haircut. His look alone makes him like just a top-level heel.
Yes.
It's hard to look at this shaggy little rat man. But it's our job. He's out there all doing all the Daniels and stuff. I have till 5 referee. To which Nigel McGuinness says, "This is a brilliant catchphrase. I'm so happy he invented it."
I'm just happy we got a guy doing Bryan Danielson spots, but they look good.
Yes. That's the key. That's the key.
Shouldn't he be doing them shittily for heat?
No.
Okay.
Yeah. So they do this match, and it's very, very good. Now, for the story, this makes sense. It did feel like this was like first part of a good match that's just about to turn great because the pin came out of nowhere. So they weren't teasing finishers and the 800 near falls. Wheeler got a flash pin out of nowhere, caught Dax off guard, and out wrestled him before Dax had a chance to make his comeback. So that makes sense. And they do the whole post-match thing, and yes, I'm totally in sync with you on where this is going.
And then we get a segment with Nick, Shayna, and Kip. Yeah. Okay? Mm-hmm. So Action and Leo, they go up and they say, "Hey, Nick, what's up with your boy, AR Fox?" And Nick goes, "He's hardly my boy." And Leo goes, "Didn't he try to end your career a while ago?"
A strange thing for a boy to do.
And Nick goes,
"None of my boys have done that."
He goes, "I got it. I see what's up. You want me to lend you a hand because you guys can't get the job done." Well, Fox and I were in the past. So they get in this giant argument, and Leo says, "All right, listen. All we're saying is there's 3 of us, or 3 of them and 2 of us. And when the time is right, nobody knows Fox better than you." So what I saw here, I could be wrong, is that they are painting Nick, Shayna, and Kip, and they have been for a while, in a sympathetic light. Christian's the asshole, holding them down, and they're like, baby faces stuck in this heel group. But it's gonna be the exact same thing with FTR. They are gonna turn on Christian, and he will go babyface to team with Copeland. Yes. We need to pull the trigger on this at some point, dude. They ain't getting any younger.
It is all coming. That is
Edge and
true.
Christian teaming up when they're 67 ain't going to have the same effect. Like, let's get this thing moving.
Hologram versus Blake Christian. I do want to note here, this whole thing, you have Top Flight feuding with the Crew, who is bringing in the Patriarchy, who, as far as I know, are still feuding with the Ops. And now starting a feud, it seems, with FTR and perhaps Edge and Christian. This is all very complicated. There's a lot of moving pieces going on here. Hologram versus Blake Christian.
Fun match.
No mention of Harleygram this week.
No.
It may have just run its course now. They do a lot of stuff. Hologram is running wild. It goes for the tope like a comet. It's shooting across the sky, but Lee Johnson takes the bullet for Blake. I'm not even sure Hologram realized he hit somebody else. He did a cool move. He was very, very happy. They take nasty bumps on the floor for a while, keep taking turns doing things. Blake finally tries a handspring. Hologram catches him on his shoulders, does the airplane spin into a power bomb. They call it the portal bomb. He wins. He's 22-0. Fun match. Are we going anywhere?
That's the thing.
A title match.
22-0. 0 title shots in the pipeline.
Yeah. Is he
It's not like there are no titles.
Is he going to Ring of Honor? Are they doing anything?
There are thousands of titles available.
He just keeps beating geeks.
And it's a good match, though.
He's spinning his wheels.
I liked it.
I like the Dynamite match. Kenny Omega ran over Blake Christensen. And this match, he got a little bit more because obviously Hologram is not the same level as Kenny Omega. So I liked that. It's okay to have a squash matches where the guy does a little bit more. So this was a good showing for Blake in this match.
Lexi interviews Thunder Rosa and Chris Statlander. They both declare themselves the Owen. And I had a little rant here about I've completely lost track of who's in. It's time to show the brackets and the rosters. And immediately after this, they announced the brackets are coming on Wednesday. Okay, fine. So each one here talks about how great they are, how hard they'll fight, and they say, yes, I'll beat you in the Owen. We'll settle it there. So on Wednesday, the brackets will be revealed for the Owen Hart tournament, along with Cope versus Claudio, a mixed tag of Moxley and Marina Shafir versus Swerve and Willow Nightingale. Will Ospreay returns, and Tony Storm versus Penelope Ford. Jamie Hayter versus Billy Starks in your alleged main event. They just kept taking turns doing stuff. There was no heel. There was no babyface. Some light dueling chance.
Well, I think they're both baby faces.
I guess.
I think.
There's no way to tell. A light round of applause.
They chanted for both women, so I guess they're both baby faces.
They did a lot of stuff. They worked really hard. It was very physical. And finally, Jamie suplexes her under her head. Billy is able to avoid one haterade, which is just basically the same thing as the Rainmaker, really. Jamie hits a springboard version of it and wins. And they did get the fans into it by the end. But, it was a match that happened.
It was a solid match.
Yeah.
I would say.
Was Jamie hurt?
Not to my
knowledge. You mean why she was gone?
Right.
Oh, yes.
I think she was just gone.
She was just gone, and then
this happens regularly.
I think last week, I know I shouldn't believe it when I see it, but I saw something that she was being released.
She's not being released.
Obviously not, but then she shows up here and gets a win, so I guess all's forgiven.
She's been back for a while now, and she was gone for a long time.
A long time.
Yeah. Athena comes out to stare down Jamie for, speaking of a long time, they stared at each other for a long time. And that was that. Like I say, that was one very excellent promo segment, and then an hour 50 of things that happened.
No, you kidding me?
And I think one of the good matches.
Dax and Wheeler was the highlight of this show by miles and miles. Everybody should go watch that match just to watch a great professional wrestling match. We see all sorts of matches. We see awesome lucha matches, and we see, these great matches with Will Ospreay and Kenny Omega or whatever. But they're always, they're same thing in WWE. We sometimes see matches. Mostly we see commercials. But the point is, to see a great, old-school, professional wrestling match with a winner and a loser and no bullshit and a great lockup.
You're not wrong.
I was quite enamored with that match. So go check it out. All right, what do we got coming up on Tuesday, Vinny?
Tuesday, Brian, we have Mid-South. Season 6, Episode 19.
Episode 19. I was told you got to plug your gimmick.
Which gimmick? The Vinny V Big Karaoke Bash?
Yeah.
The Big Vinny V Show every Tuesday afternoon?
Listen, we're going to Vegas, everybody, and we got a lot of stuff available and not available anymore. So if you're going to Vegas, f4wonline.com/Vegas, WrestleMania weekend, obviously, f4wonline.com/Vegas. The Night 1 watch party is sold out. The Night 2 watch party, I think there's a ticket left, so you should go immediately, if not sooner. There's a meet and greet and a Q&A with Dave and I on Friday. at the Palms, and there are limited tickets left for that one. So if you're going, check those out right now. Fogo de Chao and Wicked Spoon, I believe, are available. And I think both of the WrestleMania suite parties have got like a handful of tickets left. So that's Saturday and Sunday night after WrestleMania, the suite parties. So if you want to go to anything, I know there's 3 weeks left, but every year I have somebody the day of the show going, hey, can I get a ticket? No. If they're gone, they're gone. There's like fire codes in the place where the watch parties and the suite parties are. So no, we can't put more people in. So if you're thinking of going, go up now and get a ticket. F4WOnline.com/Vegas. And Vinny also has his karaoke gimmick.
Big Vinny V's Karaoke Bash, starting 10 p.m. to 2 a.m. Sunday night after WrestleMania. Come drink and sing.
10 p.m. to 2 a.m. after night 2 of WrestleMania.
Yes.
The Vinny V Karaoke Bash. So if you want to do any of those, F4WOnline.com/Vegas. And if you love this show and you want to follow along Tuesday for Mid-South and Thursday for AWNXT and Wrestling Observer Radio, Wrestling Observer Live, the new subscriber special for the full site is F4WOnline.com/new. It's F4WOnline.com/new. Also, podcast-only subscriptions, $9.99 for an entire month, 84 shows. There's Apple, Spotify, and YouTube, F4WOnline.com/Apple, F4WOnline.com/Spotify, F4WOnline.com/YouTube. So sign up today. Join the fun. And that's it. We'll talk to you again after a while.
Good night.
Adios.